Hi there, welcome to another episode of the FM Community Challenge, where you've got a bunch of crazy guys who have decided to put a challenge in front of their faces to use only default tactics, and these are randomly chosen to be used with a side from France called Saint Etienne, and let's see how all of us are supposed to do it. It's a phenomenal challenge, and on today's show, nothing about how am I playing the game. We're gonna go to a player who's using a system. It's Barsides 4-2-2-2-2. Most famously, the team that used that system. Very few people have replicated it. I know of one or two on the forums. Uh, it's the Brazil 4-2-2-2, the magic quadrilateral, used in 1982. Many countries tried to copy it. They couldn't. Only the Brazilians could pull it off. It was a team loaded with talent: Zico, Socrates, Junior, Leandro, Falcao, and Cerezo. Cerezo is the one that that match where Rossi intercepted his back pass and then went on to win the match. Yeah, that's another story. But here in this team, how did they play? Well, essentially they had two strikers up front, but Zico and Socrates were playing more like Trequartistas. Zico and Socrates are the creative flair players in the side. At one point, if you ask Pele would say Zico was probably the most brilliant player, and so was Socrates. Both of them were phenomenal playmakers. They had this blind backheel pass that they could pull off. They were just gems, heroes in my opinion. And behind them, they had two other players, Falcao and Cerezo. Now, Falcao and Cerezo, well, Falcao was actually a deep line playmaker of sorts who could actually tackle, and Cerezo, well, he's just about basic defensive midfielder. On the flanks, they were supported by Junior and Leandro, the marauding fullbacks. The system was actually quite narrow. And that's going to be a problem in FM. FM, if you play the system narrow, you might have problems, but it's probably the only way you can really play it because you want the players to be close together to support. And in order for them to bomb forward, you need to have those two Falcao Cerezo players, the two actually to be holding players. And then Zico and Socrates, those two players, they're gonna have to be flair, they're gonna have to be really good with the ball, they're gonna have to be able to string these, passes. And Leandro and Junior, the two fullbacks, they can't be fullbacks, they're gonna be more like complete wingbacks. They're gonna be able to run up and down the flanks like there's no tomorrow. Leaves us with a big question mark. How do you defend the flanks? And this is gonna be the biggest single challenge that Barca is gonna face. How does he hold the flanks down? And if Zico and Socrates, those two players, those two MCs that he has, if they end up having to do a lot of work, like come back here and try and defend and do that, then the creativity is going to go a bit in the side, and then there's going to be issues. Which is one of the reasons why Brazil actually had Falcao. Falcao was a bit deeper, and he could also play as a playmaker. So essentially, this team had three playmakers. There's Zico, Socrates, and the fallback option was Falcao. And this is how they played out. And let's see how Barside gets his system. I'm not suggesting he's trying to copy Brazil. I'm using Brazil as an inspiration for me to try and see whether or not we can tighten it up using some real life examples of how they did it. So let's take a look at Barside. Who has he got playing where? He's got Christian Salnes here, and this looks like an attacking playmaker. And he's got Kazim whatever his name is, and Raya Suchi and Ronald Kohari. Interestingly, you must remember he's using a 4-2-2 DM. So it's narrow. You can't have Trequartistas here, so you're gonna have to try and replicate them as closely as you can. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard, but it might be possible. But that means you have to unleash these two guys. These guys both have to be on attack. And then if we're looking at Brazil, then this guy is a playmaker, and this guy is a defensive midfielder. And this guy doesn't go all the way up to the top. This guy goes all the way up to the top. So that's the way Brazil plays. But we don't have Brazilian players on the side, so he's got to have to make do with what he has. And Saint Etienne are not littered with phenomenal talent. Okay, so here we go. We know the players. Ryan Suchi is actually 17-year-old. It's pretty young. Renat Kohade has got a brilliant pass. I know that too. He can tackle. Ole Christian Salnes, he's got a great pass. I'm a bit unsure about his tackling though. Bayal Sol is also young. Lloyd Perrin, we all know he goes out of positions all the time, so he's a dodgy central defender. You got Jonathan Brisson and Kevin Theopal Catherine. All right, so we've got all these players set up. And let's take a look at the highlights from the match. So game kicks off. I'm looking at the shape of our four. So I've highlighted them. And whoever's got the ball will highlight after that. Sulji, you can see they're quite close together right after kickoff. But these are highlights. So here, this is how they defend. So Sulchi goes up to close down, and then the deeper DM goes up, and that causes them to lose position. Uh, there's one issue over there already. And they're pulling, actually, they're not able to close down the flanks. It's probably a concern for Barside at the moment. It's probably detesting this formation as he plays it. I would. Okay, so Anel again. So Suljit goes up. He goes like a yo-yo left and right. And then we're looking at the DM. Our DM stepped up again. And leaves the whole space here vacant. And then they all get cracked. So if we go back. Okay, just looking at this point in the match when they conceded the first goal, I'm immediately concerned about two things: the DMs and the way they close down. And Brisson, by the time he gets here, it's a bit late. The ball is already, they can already pass the ball, they can cross the ball. So you're not getting any 2-on-2s in terms of closing down. And the back, Selnes is definitely not the person I'd pick on to go and save the day at the back when they scored. Now, if I want to see how good a tactic is, first up I rule off all the set pieces. I mean, they're great to score goals from set pieces, but I like to look at them as a bonus and like get out of jail card. So I'm looking at, and they scored actually to score 2 goals from set pieces. Pretty interesting. How does he defend from the flanks? That's my only question. So it's probably the players as well. I wonder why he doesn't use Clemente, why he doesn't use the other ball winners in the team. Okay. Suji again with the ball, place it back to Suchi. Suchi back to Brisson. Deep, can't pass the ball. Suchi again. I think now he's got work ball into box as a shout. All right, now let's look at how the Troy's team gets back into the game. Now you see, that's my concern. The closing down, they're not high. One other option is go really high up the defensive line. If they push the defensive line really high, they might be able to circumvent some of the stuff that's happening. The downside of that is Lloyd Perrin and his wandering ways, so you could still get pulled out of shape. These are throw-ins and set pieces, so I kind of like rule them out. Free kick again. Barrick cuts off. Nice play. More pay. Hano got there. I could have sworn I saw it. Pereira with the ball. Oh, you can see how open the right flank is. That happens when you have marauding fullbacks. So if we're going to play with marauding fullbacks in this setup, then those 2 DMs, we got to probably play those 2 holding midfielders as literally defensive midfielders. They can't be anything else. You won't believe one of the matches Barsides sent to me. Okay, so it's 2-1, right? Looks phenomenal. 23, 9 shots, 1 shot, clear cut chance. This looks like a great game in the making. And then you look at the formation. The AI is using an asymmetric 4-1-2-3 DM AML. They even got like long code names for this tactic. So I was like, what the heck is going on? This will be interesting. So it's going to be a lot of fun watching this. Okay, has he made any changes? Yeah, he's got with Kohut and Cognet. That's my favorite pairing in midfield. And he's pulled Ole Christian Salnes back. Now that's going to be, he's more or less now playing like a playmaker here. And he's gone with Clement. Oh, I see. He's gone with Clement. Maybe he was injured in his previous game. And he got Bernard Asu and Kevin Malkut. These are my two. Kevin Malkut is one of my favorite players in the side. But still, like, Perrin is a piece of crunch. Be censored. Okay, so let's look at the game. Okay, so when I'm looking at his system, just before we take a look, I'm looking at the first half. And I noticed a similar pattern in the previous game. Now, his 2 forwards are really, they're in another world altogether. So they're all the way up there. So passes that find them have got to be phenomenal, or he's got to work ball into box and hope they drop deep enough for them to connect, because or the two central midfielders do enough to carry the ball to them, or the wing backs get the ball on the flanks, they run down the flanks and they drop in the cross and they work the ball back into the box. So basically that's how the play should work. And it's crampy at the back, yeah, true. Here, over here, it looks nice and cramped, and it could lend to better defensive support. Looking at the flank again now, okay, that's odd. One of the fullbacks, they basically in the kind of they both actually ended up in the same zone of influence. So there was like a check by the AI match engine going, who goes first, who goes second, who goes third. Now you can see how well they defend. I think he's pushed up his D line as well. And here now you got the players stepping up slightly earlier compared to the other match. That's a good save by the keeper. All right, this is definitely the second half. So all the action actually start in the second half. You can see Barsides. Can you see Barsides on the out there? He's got his arms crossed. He's looking at the match. All right, now let's look at how they handle the flanks. They handle the flanks so much better now. Now they're forcing them to work the ball in instead of giving the early cross. Yeah, there's a bit of yo-yoing going on, and it's unfortunate that the first goal is more like a screw up than anything else. But there is a lot of potential now in terms of how they're defending. It also has got to do with the system they're playing against. They're playing an asymmetric system, so they don't have marauding wingers as such. Rue, what a ball from the genius Tanane scores. Oh my god, what a goal! What a goal! I love that. My match, I just told Rue to shut the hell up. Kisuchi plays it back. Oh, sliding tackle. Quaresma has got the ball, plays it out to Abraham. Okay, they got flank support, Patekmik, but they're slow to push up. And they're playing at home. Oh, beautiful tackle from Suchi. Again, that's the only downside. Because Rue is so high up the pitch, the balls have got to find him. He's got to bring it down, hold it, control it, and he's probably going for the element of strength here for him to actually do something with the ball and play others in. Ball goes to the flank. Now let's see how quickly they come on to close this down. Okay, okay, that's probably pace in action. Tanane up. Okay, that's good. Cogmat is up in support very quickly. Plays it down the flanks to Tanane. Tanane crosses into the box. Rue's all by himself and shoots. Oh my goodness, what a goal. Oh, that was sweet. Now, he doesn't wait early. He doesn't wait for all the support to come in. So he's definitely he's not using any like work ball into box, get the ball in slowly. They're not doing any of that. Selnes. Drew again. What a ball to Rue. It's depending a lot on Rue. So if you get a really world-class player, then I could see this really working. But this is also due to the fact that he's facing an asymmetric system. Selnes was lucky. Let's look at the system. It's an asymmetric system. What does this mean? They are meant to unbalance your head. So essentially, if you're looking at the system, on the right flank, you've got Abraham and Quaresma. On the left flank, you've got OK, Sahan is probably going to play an inside forward to come and score. So you're going to be looking at the right flank, because the right flank is where you're going to get overloaded with players. You've got potentially Abraham running to the flanks. You've got Beck and Quaresma bombing down the flanks. And that's the danger. So you got to be quick to identify the threat. And the threat was actually down his left flank. And that was pretty obvious when you started looking at the game. They had Sahan come in more like the inside forward to try and score. It was and this is actually kind of cool because you could actually see how his system handled against that. And in terms of match stats, yeah, it's pretty okay. The passing from defense could be a bit better. But I think that at this point in time, he probably wanted to kick the 4-2-2-2 out of his life, but he's trying to make it work just for the challenge. So kudos to Barsides. This was a fun game to watch. Okay, so one of the other games he sent me in is this match, a 3-0 win over Nice. They had 60% of the shots on target, which is not bad. It's pretty good. And it's still early days for him, I think, and he's still trying to come to terms with his team, and he's probably looking out for passages of play that he likes. And he wants to see whether the system can work out. And let's take a look at some of the goals from this system. So he's got 3 goals, and the first one is actually an own goal. And Robert Berrick, who hasn't played a game for me, scores 2 goals for him. So here we go. First is a throw in of a throw. They build it up. Martin crosses. What a own goal. But man, it worked really hard to put the. Didn't have to work that hard to put the ball into the net. Okay, let's look at the second goal. Barrick to Martin. Nice ball out. This is what I want to see. Ooh, nice. All right, this is what I like to see. The fullback marauding down the flanks. Everybody coming up to support. This is beautiful. That was sweet. The second goal is actually very nice. Here's the third goal in 65th minute. Picked the ball up, closed him down, picked it up, nice, played it back. Lamont, simple pass to Martin. Nice. Those CMs are quite high. I think he's got in it. Barrick, oh, lovely. They build the play up really nicely. And I saw Koto, the passing is good. This is the way I would love to see the system playing. Yes, it's a brilliant goal. They pass Nice to death. All right, let's look at the third goal again, but this time we're going to look at it from a 2D point of view, because a 2D will give us a better idea of the shape. So here we go. Rule loses the ball. Pajot is really close. You can see the two DMs, I think, are playing quite deep. Selness, natural PPM here. Lamont to Martin. Oh, so nice. Look at the way they have each other there. Barrick, he's not. Oh, he plays it back to Lamont. I like this. Asu Koto is in support. Selness to Pajot to Martin and Barrick, and they score a goal. That was very nice to watch. Now that's how you should score goals, man, all the time. Well, it was a great match. Barsides 4-2-2-2 has a lot of potential. I think he's made changes, like defensive line has changed. He's made some small tweaks here and there, and that system looks really good. I definitely love the box system. It can work in FM, but it's a nightmare having to find some way to defend those flanks. And if you don't have the right players, so the system is not going to work. And obviously, you can see that with the right players, the system is not bad at all. And he played it against. This is a good test. He's playing against a team that is going to have an AML and an AMR out there. So it would have, if these guys had any sense, they could have played better, then, yeah, he could have put a lot more pressure on his side. Also using a defensive 4-1-2-3 DM wide, which allowed him to be playing a bit more. Probably he had a bit more of a higher attacking mentality as well, or control. And they played. I thought this was a great game, and I'm glad that Barside sent these tactics, and so that we can all have a look at the 4-2-2-2 DM system. Well, yeah, okay, so Barside isn't exactly trying to replicate Brazil. He never said, hey, guys, this is going to be the Brazil 4-2-2. He never once said that. I am the one that gets fascinated by Brazil. So when I saw the 4-2-2, I saw Barside got it. I went like, holy cow, this is exciting. I only see Brazil. Yeah, okay, so now let's be realistic. Brazil had these two players in a slightly attacking position so that they actually could be Trequartistas. So I'm not trying to say that the system is the same, but it makes my imagination go wild, and that's what I like. And I hope you enjoyed today's show. I know there's only one tactic that was featured, and I thought, yeah, why not, take your attention away from me for a while. Let's talk about other people. And I'll get back to my save. It's coming to an end, and I've got a lot of stories to tell you about what happened. You won't believe what happened, but it happened. And if you have any questions, if you want to take part in the challenge, dude, I think this challenge is going to go on for quite a while. If you want to take part in the challenge, just go down to SI forums. There's a trading and tactics sub forum there. Yeah, just look for Jambo 98's thread. It's called the FM Community Challenge. And if you want to sign up, just put your name down and say, give me a tactic. And he'll spin it in his black box. He'll spit something out. And if you're lucky, you're going to get something you absolutely hate. And that's when you actually learn something. Honestly, I learned a lot from a tactic I absolutely hated. And then, hey, oi, really? You can do this? Shit, I didn't know that. I'm supposed to know stuff like that. So it happened to me. And it probably can happen to you too. If you have any questions, you know where you can find me. You can always drop me a note at BusterNet, or you can find me at my website, addictedtofm.com, or you can just find me on the SI forums. And if you see me walking across the road and you know what I look like, then wave and I'll say hi back to you. So you guys have a good one. Take care. I'll catch up with you guys again soon. Bye-bye.